Morning, Bridget. It is as cold outside today as it is in your heart. It's frosty, it's icy, it's cold. Now this will thaw out because the sun is shining. It's actually a very beautiful day. This will thaw out. You won't. You haven't. You are holding on really tight to your icy, cold heart. And I don't know whether that's because you've got avoidance issues. I don't know whether that's because you feel as though if you were to accept that you've got this wrong, then that's a reflection on you as a person, which is a real worry, because that's putting yourself above an entire nation of children in education. Or I don't know if it's because you actually physically can't see it, which is because you've got accountability issues, because you can't take accountability for any of your actions. You're certainly not hearing it. You know, don't do a Rachel Reeves on me. That was, it was funny actually watching that when she said, well, if you don't like my budget, come up with some other ideas. I can't see anyone doing that. No, you can't. You're right, Rachel, you absolutely can't. But that's not because they're not coming up with ideas. That says so much more about you than it does about them. They're doing nothing but come up with ideas. You just don't want to listen to them. I see ideas every single day. If you go on the cesspit that is X, you will see, once you've wheedled your way through some of the absolute insanity, some relatively decent ideas. There's economists on there, like real ones. And they are giving idea after idea after idea of ways to bolster the British economy without robbing pensioners, farmers, children. Let's stick with children for the purposes of today. 35,000 currently are off. Now, you said 3,000, so you're out by 32,000, which is awkward. You won't accept that, of course you won't, but it's actually real. And for those 35,000 children, some of them are going into homeschool, some of them are going into state schools out of catchment, some of them are going to the Ofsted poor schools because nobody else wants them. And some of them are just in limbo. So next week we will be naming and shaming the councils who are refusing places for children, particularly in the GCSE year groups. Some of the councils, and I say naming and shaming, it's not really naming and shaming, is it? They just don't have places, but we'll be shaming you because you say they do. You know, some of them are refusing to do in-year moves. Do you know why, Bridget? Because they recognise that it is so detrimental to a child and their education, they won't be part of it. It doesn't solve the problem, does it? Because they're refusing to do an in-year move and mum and dad can't pay the extra fees and the school don't have the money to absorb the extra fees. So you've created a vicious circle. And some of these children are reporting how they feel, particularly the GCSE and the A-level ones. And I've tried to say this in videos to you before and I've not been able to do it because saying it out loud makes it real. But I've put my big girl pants on today and I am going to say it to you, Bridget, because it is real. And I feel like I should not be hiding behind my own emotion when I do this. So there are children in the UK of school age who are saying they are crippled with anxiety, they are scared, they are frightened, and some of them are having suicidal thoughts. Children are having suicidal thoughts. I have to be so careful when I say this to you, Bridget, because I'll tell you a little story. This is not the first take, this is about the third. Because I got so angry, I started screaming at the camera. So I'm going to try really calmly and eloquently to tell you what saying those words invokes in me, what the feelings are. First of all, panic. I feel sick in my tummy. I've got a lump in my throat here and my nose is fizzed because I want to cry. That's me, that's what I feel. And I'm trying to put myself in the shoes of a parent who's heard those words. And I want to pick my child up and run away from the world. I want to not be here to hear that. I want them to not feel or say that, and I want that to not ever happen. I want those thoughts to never ever come to reality. See, I can't do it, Bridget. I'm trying to imagine what a child must feel like to say those thoughts. A child with their entire future ahead of them, who up until this point, I don't think we can say life is easy for anyone these days, but up until this point was managing the usual childhood challenges of life. And out of nowhere, the government, the people that run the country, the ones that we look to help us feel safe and guide us, they've ripped away their education. They're putting them in a system that they don't want to be in, away from everything that they know, all that they've worked for. And they are literally so scared, they are having suicidal thoughts. Where do you go with that? I can't, Bridget. We have to leave it there. You need to think about that. And I tell you something, their thoughts, I hope to God that never becomes a reality.